Hello everybody, I'm Giovanna Magnani, Associate Professor at the Department of Economics and Management of the University of Pavia.
I am Stefano Denicolai, again from the University of Pavia. Thank you for your attention.
Today we're happy to present to you a paper that we've co-authored with our colleague, Professor Antonella Zucchella, and the paper is titled Digital Innovation and Sustainability Capability within SMEs, an Empirical Study. So the aim of the paper is to try to understand the potential interactions among some key growth paths for firms, especially for SMEs in the contemporary economy, and we take the perspective of the capabilities that are needed to be developed in order to succeed for such growth paths. The first growth path is a path about digital innovation that increasingly is a key priority for all organizations, and it is praised as being a true management revolution. At the same time, firms, both larger and smaller firms, are often called to pursue paths of environmental sustainability growth. And also this one is a primary objective for firms in the 21st century. At the same time, digital innovation and sustainability converge. It is true, it has been found by research that through innovation and digital technologies, organizations may be more able to achieve sustainable development. Last, it is also true that the boundaries between digitalization and innovation are blurred, and these two can somehow interact when they evolve from separated knowledge silos towards organizational capabilities. So as I mentioned, we look at the interactions among these growth paths from the perspective of organizational capabilities. And we look at different forms of organizational capabilities, mainly three. The first one is innovation capabilities, meaning the ability of the firm to constantly be able to transform knowledge and ideas into new products and processes. Digitalization capabilities, which are the organizational ability to implement digital solutions based on digital technologies, and sustainability capability, meaning the readiness, the ability of the firm to rapidly evolve towards more sustainable, more environmentally sustainable product and processes. We develop a set of hypotheses in order to test the potential interactions among the mentioned capabilities. The first set of hypotheses is based on the interaction among innovation and sustainability in SMEs. We know from research that smaller enterprises compared to larger ones have lower readiness levels when referring to the transition towards more environmental sustainable production. And this because, of course, their limited stock of financial and human resources. They're often unable actually to develop sustainability capability. It is also true on the one hand, and this evidence is clearer for larger organizations, that somehow innovation capabilities can be an enabler, a strategic factor in overcoming the difficulty of a transition toward a more sustainable development, sustainable growth. So there are theoretical arguments that suggest that innovation and sustainability capability may be complementary assets. This actually has been found in larger organizations, and it is regarded as an innovability. At the same time, there is no empirical evidence that there might be such interactions in smaller firms. So these uncertainties regarding theoretical evidence led us to develop competing hypotheses. So the first hypothesis is that innovation capabilities are positively associated with the development of sustainability capabilities, while hypothesis 1b tells that innovation capabilities are associated with development of sustainability capabilities through an inverted U-shaped relationship. The second set of hypotheses regard the interaction between digitalization and sustainability. So here the argument is that sustainability may be somehow enabled, empowered by digital technology. And there are some theoretical and empirical papers that led us to go towards this direction. At the same time, there is also evidence, by the way, that digitalization can have negative effects on sustainability. For example, we know that artificial intelligence is extremely energivorous tool, and we know that many digital technologies lead to emissions and to electronic waste. So also in this case, we put forward two competing hypotheses. The first one, digitalization capabilities are positively associated with the development of sustainability capabilities. And the second one, digitalization capabilities are associated with the development of sustainability capabilities through an inverted U-shaped relationship. The last hypothesis that we put forward is on the interaction among innovation and digitalization in fostering sustainability. So in this case, we look for a moderation effect. So the hypothesis tells that digitalization capabilities positively moderate the association between innovation capabilities and sustainability capabilities.
So in the second part of our presentation, we're going to introduce you the empirical outcomes that we collected in order to support our research hypothesis. And this survey, this quantitative survey, is based on a questionnaire submitted to a sample of small and medium enterprises in Lombardy, the region in the north of Italy. We think that this is a very fruitful field for our research due to the fact that Lombardy is definitely one of the strongest area in Italy in terms of economic development as well as entrepreneurship. Several data and confirm this. And secondly, since the fact that thanks to the very strong development that I just mentioned, and thanks to the particular geography of this area, the inhabitants of Lombardy faced a significant pollution, and for that reason is an area particularly with a strong attention to issues related to sustainability. So for this reason, we argue that's a very fruitful field of research for our study. And thanks to our analytical procedure, we collected 13,500 fully fulfilled questionnaires. It's a stratified sample in terms of firm size and industry. So now in that slide, you can see some additional details regarding the methodology, in particular, the variables and some descriptives analysis. And you can see that, as mentioned before by Giovanna, our key reference is the dependent variable sustainability capability. And then we have two main independent variables related to innovation capabilities and digital capabilities. Then, of course, we have some control variables spanning from size to firm age, if they are family group, if this SMEs are into a group, an holding, and also we consider it the international expansion as well as the industry. On the right of the graph, you can see the average for each variables, the standard deviation, and the correlation among variables. We can say that accordingly to the data in the matrix, there are no particular issue in terms of multicollinearity or any other possible problems. Well, finally entering in the results of our analysis based on a regression and OLS study. This is a picture with all the variables, but in the next slide, we offer you a focus removing the industry the industry variables. Of course, you can have more detail even about the variation across industries, taking a look at the sample, but let me focus specifically on the outcomes related to our research hypothesis. Well, specifically to the research hypothesis number one, we can see that innovation capabilities is indeed related to sustainability. And this is a first important confirmation about our theoretical framework. Interestingly, both the linear hypothesis and the curvilinear hypothesis are both in place. There are arguments to suggest that the stronger is the curvilinear function based on the so-called U-shaped, inverse U-shaped effect. Giovanna, if you can please go to the next. Yes, here we see that, here you can see that a graphical representation of this inverse U-shaped function. And the graphical representation serves the purpose to understand that it is indeed largely a linear relationship for the vast majority of the sample. I mean, on the left, you can see that even though through a diminishing return effect, the innovation capability is positively affected, is positively associated with sustainability. The negative effect occurs only at a very high level of innovation for a limited amount of companies. The excellence in terms of innovation, likely at that point, the company has to make a choice, investing in one or invest in innovation or invest in sustainability. Can we go back to the earlier slide, please? Thanks. And what happens with regard to the other research hypothesis is that taking a look to the models from number 4 to number 6, we see that the digital capabilities is also related to sustainability. So we can also confirm the hypothesis even for this second kind of variable, even though now the relationship is linear. The relationship is now linear. So if the hypothesis number 1, A or B, and hypothesis number 2 are substantially confirmed, an unexpected result is that, on the contrary, the hypothesis number 3 is not supported. So accordingly to this data, the interaction between innovation and digitalization in influencing the evolution of the firm from a sustainability point of view is not in place. We do not report from an empirical standpoint even this effect. For that reason, we try to dive into this outcome with another set of regressions. Again, this is the picture with all the industry effect, and here is the focus on the main variable of the model. what we have done here, we run other regression on subsets, specifically establishing a distinction between manufacturing and services, also because sustainability is an issue which is usually more relevant for manufacturing company for several reasons, also mentioned by Giovanna. Then we also take a look on the effect of the firm size and a focus also on the firm age. And what happens, very interesting, is that our research hypothesis number 3, suggesting that in order to exploit the potential of innovation, you also need digitalization, at least within SMEs. So we revealed that this kind of effect is present in young firms, startups, or anyway companies within 10 years from its establishment. So the moderating effect between digital and innovation in supporting sustainability is true, but according to our data, only in relatively small and young companies. Again, a graphical representation of our results, showing that in the specific case of young companies, what happens is that if you have not digital capabilities, also the effect of innovation is null, is not present. The graph will suggest a kind of negative effect, but it's very limited. While the stronger the digital capability, the stronger the positive effect of innovation on sustainability. And this is very interesting for our site, paving the way to new studies on the field. So these are our conclusion that more or less follow the results of our empirical analysis that has both theoretical and empirical contribution. From a theoretical point of view, it's very important to highlight that we highlight for the first time the pattern of interaction among innovation, sustainability, into a kind of merge which is called innovability, in the specific case of small firms and thanks to empirical data. From the managerial point of view, of course, there are several indications in order to optimize the investment into this kind of growth path for companies that have some limitation in terms of resources. And then, of course, also our study has several limitations. As always, in particular, we are looking for in the future for the dynamics of these effects, maybe through a longitudinal study. And also we need more data in order to confirm the specific outcomes of on young firms that it was not our main goal, at least not at the early beginning. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for Stefano.
Thank you also on my side.
Bye, and see you in the cloud.